Howdy ladies and gents, and welcome back to VGU Plays Destiny. Now last time we showed you the character creation as well as the first story based mission where you're on a wizard hunt. Now with episode 2 we're going to be exploring the tower, also known as the main hub of the game, so to speak, as to where you can meet up with new players as well as your friends, and also hand in important quests and get very valuable rewards. You also can go there and buy yourself some brand new gear, craft stuff, and all that jazz. Now it's key to keep in mind, because this is in alpha, crafting was not in here. However, crafting materials were, so they left the impression of, okay, so you're going to have full crafting capabilities in the full game, which is fantastic. And there are some parts of the tower which are not really well explained, but basically sum up to the whole fact of it combines what you get from both PvE and PvP, so you can get better equipment as well as better weaponry, which is pretty darn sweet. As you can see here, I'm just going through my inventory at the moment, trying out some brand new equipment that I got, and getting rid or dismantling my current or previous equipment. Now, dismantling equipment turns it into the in-game currency of the game, which is known as Glimmer. And you gain Glimmer just by killing enemies, completing objectives in PvE, winning in PvP. You get it all over the place. There wasn't a sell option with any of the vendors over at the tower either, so that was a little bit concerning, but it's not a big loss. I mean, you're still able to dismantle all your equipment, and dismantling gives you back at least some Glimmer to then spend towards other stuff, or even gives you weapon fragments or other unique resources that can be used at a later time to craft things, which is a pretty sweet idea. Welcome to the tower! And it's pretty big. Here's the map of the tower to show you where everything is, and there are 4 main areas, at least at the moment. It is key to note that the tower is, according by Bungie, going to be much bigger in the release of the game. So take this size of the tower as a little bit of a preview as to what you can expect. Now, there are many things around here that you can get involved with. One of the things being right over back here, and it's bounties. When you hit level 6, you'll be able to take part in bounties, which will give you rewards for achieving specific things, whether it be in PvE or PvP. It gives you a perfect chance to go into a PvE or PvP environment just specifically going for these bounties so that you can reap the rewards from it, or if you only really want to play one side of the game, whether it be your PvE with your friends or PvP and go up the competitive ladder, then you can just pick the bounties that work best for your preferred playstyle, which is pretty awesome. Now, one area that I don't actually show you in this video because I got kind of lost since this was my first time in the tower, is the area to the left. And the area to the left has a few NPCs around there, but the NPCs are mostly selling you stuff that you can't get just yet, and you mostly require alternate forms of currency for, that are either not available yet in the alpha, or involve you playing a lot of PvP or doing a lot of bounties. So that's something to keep in mind around about here. The only vendor down there that's worth checking out is a vendor that does give you some really sweet early game emblems, and the emblems just simply change the color scheme of your name title card whenever you're waiting to enter a planet. Now this right here is the gunsmith. The gunsmith is, as you can expect, your gun vendor of the game. He's going to supply you with many different guns, and throughout a certain amount of time his inventory will be completely switched around. So if you find that there's a rare or uncommon gun that you really fancy but you can't quite get because of your level, you can always go into one of the game modes, level yourself up, come back and then buy it. Or you can always go away, wait until his inventory refreshes, come back when he has a brand new stock of stuff and see if there's a better array of weapons for what you like to do. Now right over here we have the Cryptarch, who is a very interesting vendor and one of the more unique ones for you will be going back to incredibly often during your adventures in Destiny. So what does he do? Well, he sells you engrams, and you can also pick up engrams when you are out in PvE. I haven't seen any drop in PvP, but that's just me. And these engrams will randomly give you a piece of equipment. Whether it be good or bad equipment is up to, well, the stats that it obviously comes with. It also helps for getting new aesthetic equipment that go with other pieces so that you can get the last odd bits of your set, which is pretty darn awesome. Now it's also good to keep in mind that these engrams are specifically great at giving you the better weapons in the game. There are a lot of uncommon engrams that I have picked up throughout these recording sessions and when I haven't been recording, and they have given me some pretty sweet weapons and armor. There's even this one, I do believe, set of engrams that dropped, but were rare engrams, and I was not expecting whatsoever. And those rare engrams drop weapons and equipment that ranged from level 10 up to level 12, which was pretty darn epic, apart from the fact that, of course, the level cap in this area, or so say this game, in the alpha phase, is level 8. So I have really high, well, I wouldn't say really high, but really good average level gear, which is going to be excellent for when I hit that level, but I can't exactly use it yet, can I?
The fleet is our hope. I don't care what the law says.
Dead Orbit here is one of the many vendors around the place where you'll find out that he has Vanguard equipment. It is unsure at this moment in time as to what Vanguard equipment exactly is and what you need in order to get Vanguard ranks, but it's pretty epic to see some of the equipment that he is selling. High cost, but damn, they give you some pretty high stats. Something to keep in mind there. And here's some more Vanguard equipment being sold by instead of Quartermaster. Again, it's hard to find out what you need to do to exactly get these ranks, and to of course get the resources necessary to get these. But it's interesting to note, legendary Sparrow mounts. Yeah, you can buy them with in-game resources. And that immediately solved one issue that I was hoping would not happen, that was rotating in rumors, saying that Destiny might be having microtransactions. That basically solidified, nope. No microtransactions, it's all good. Which I'm really happy about. So I'm just checking the map there because we are exploring another place.
Get moving.
Closed bounty, unclaimed exiles captain, and 7 dregs. Resilient end zone.
Now over here we have the postmaster, and guess what? It's your mail! And for participating in the alpha, you're just given an engram from the postmaster, just to help you out in the game and to have a little bit of fun. A little bit of a present from Bungie for saying thank you, which is quite nice. The postmaster will hold 20 messages for you, and will be of some big use by the looks of things. There are some moments where you'll come back after a big PvE session and you'll get a bunch of engrams, or you may even forget to pick up some engrams. But if you forget to pick up engrams, what in fact happens is the postie, as I like to call him, picks them up for you. And when you come back over to the tower, if you get there fast enough, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but if you come back, there is a chance that the postie will indeed have the engrams that you may have missed out on, or may not have even had the space to keep in your inventory at that moment in time. Which is pretty solid. It makes him very, very useful.
Are you here for me?
I'd just like to say, the Crucible Handler has a fantastic look behind him. I want that armor set. That armor set looks incredible.
Good to have you home, Wyatt.
And right here we have what you can, I guess, call the main HQ of the tower, where you have your vanguards. Now, these vanguards are obviously your class vanguards, and these guys will be helping you out with your class equipment in the early stages, as well as potentially giving you class-specific quest lines or story quest lines that will go on throughout the game. And it's great to see that after you've done the story mission and you come back, they will give you a reward of one of 3 different pieces of equipment. I'm going to pick my fancy, and I'm also going to explore the vendor a little bit, see if there's anything else I can potentially grab for a good price, and move along.
Come back safe.
Now it's a good time to note here that some pieces of equipment and some weapons will be able to upgrade alongside your character whilst you're out in the field battling opponents. Now this just adds a new element, as different equipment will also have different beneficial things, such as reload time being decreased, the amount of ammunition you can carry with you, the amount of damage that you can do. Even more interesting ones, like if you hit your opponent with a grenade, or if you kill them with a grenade, it recharges your melee ability, which is pretty darn cool for synergy. It opens up a lot of different doors and a lot of different potentials for a ton of different builds and different options of that. It's fantastic to see, because I was never expecting that kind of depth, especially an alpha. But it's just great to see.
Yeah, I wish I could go with you.
You need better gear.
Now I would gladly say this, although old Russia looks amazing, the tower looks absolutely fantastic. As soon as you go to the tower, you see the landscapes behind you and in front of you, the tall buildings, everything that's going on, the fully voiced NPCs that are running around everywhere. It's great. It truly does make you feel like you're in a hub or central part of the world that is incredibly crucial to the story and everyone living around it. It's absolutely fantastic. And it just goes to show that Bungie do have a unique skill when it comes to creating these style of sci-fi worlds. They just look absolutely beautiful.
What can we do for you, Warlock?
Hello, Guardian.
You've come to the right place. Feels good, right?
Now, one of the last things I'm going to be doing here before we go back to orbit and plan our way of getting back to old Russia, we're going to visit the shipwright. And the shipwright is your main place to go for brand new ships, as well as brand new, at least early game mounts with different Sparrow designs. Now, it's fantastic to see all the different ships here. You're not going to see me get any new ships or any new Sparrows until way later on into the recording sessions. But I can tell you, they're fantastic. And the Sparrows also come with little unique traits as well, being able to handle better, or increasing your turbo speed, even being able to let you use weapons, which is fantastic. The ship designs also look amazing. Each and every ship looks a little bit different in their own way, or heck, just have a fantastic art style on their chassis to go with. It's just great. So next time on VGU Plays Destiny, we are going to go back to old Russia and kick some ass. Until then, I'll be seeing you on the other side.